Hiya, and welcome back to a Masquerade in the Woods. The game that teaches us that, The game that teaches us that fighting with your teammates is the best way to achieve a similar goal. Anyways, let's just hop right in. Fair enough. Also, hiya. I reach over Lucas's broad frame in the passenger seat to buckle the seatbelt. River combs her hair back with a paw, climbing into the driver's seat. Tiny. I feel my stomach sink. Please don't shout at me! I take a deep breath and muster the courage to turn around. Shepard steps through the grass holding the bags he bought earlier. I close the passenger side door looking down at them. Clothes. Dry. He lifts them one at a time. For you, Giant, and Doc. He glances over at River through the windscreen. Mason leans up against the doorframe behind him, crossing his arms, car keys in one paw. Are you going with them? I glance between the three of them, Lucas, Mason, and Shepard. Good thing this was already predetermined. We're doing Lucas's route first. I nod. I want to make sure he's okay. The possum pushes off the frame, waving over to his car with a slight limp. I just hope his leg is okay. Shepard nods, his eyes on the ground. Good. He steps past me, placing the plastic bags in the back seat behind Lucas. He hands me the brown paper bag, now darkened in some spots. I got you this. Figured you might need it. I hold the bag up. What is it? River honks the horn, giving me an annoyed look. We should get going. The tall beast nods, still not meeting my eyes as I climb into the back seat. Hiya. I'll see ya. At least I think it was Lucas that got that one. Let me check. Yeah, it was Lucas. Just want to make sure I'm correct. I'll see ya. He pauses for a moment, finally lifting his gaze to meet mine. He gives a curt nod, letting his eyes fall back on the gravel path. He was being an asshole, but I still feel bad. My heart. My heart. My fucking heart. We roll down the gravel road, Mason in his small car ahead of us. Shepard clasps his paws behind his back, watching us leave as he slowly fades out of view out the back window. And despite the argument inside, I can't help but to think how lonely he looks. Get changed. Won't be too long till we're there. I sigh, turning back to the brown paper bag in my lap, opening it up. Pull out a greasy, oversized sandwich. My heart. Shepard is not making it easy. Yeah, I completely forgot to, because after the Poughkeepsie tapes, after I finished that, I needed to stay away from Netflix and all that fun stuff for a while. I needed to stay away from it because what I saw in that movie was extremely fucked up. No. Shepard is not making this easy. Shepard is not making this easy. I fiddle my claws through the little key ring on Lucas's belt, untangling the glow stick from its hoop. River, meanwhile, struggles to get the t-shirt over his head. We parked on the back side of the hospital, and pretty much immediately see to getting Lucas changed. Hey, Hey? Amethyst? It was a fucked up movie. It was a fucked up movie. I watched needles get stuck into some poor woman's neck while there was tape over her mouth and she was choking on her own blood. I saw that shit in that movie. Yeah, now I see why. You know what? You know what? You know what? If it'll appease you, if it will appease you, I'm putting it in my reminders. I'm putting it in my reminders. Already did all this shit. Alright. Shit. New reminder. Alrighty. I am setting it to 1 a.m. Alright. You want proof? Okay, here's proof. Here's proof. Let me turn on video camera. Alright, video camera's on. Here. You can see right here that once I click apply and add and scheduled, right there. It's right there. Actually, you probably can't fucking see that because I use light mode like a sociopath. Hang on. Shit. What the fuck is... There we go. Right there. Yeah, I'm switching back to light mode because I prefer it. And back to the game. We parked on the backside of the hospital and pretty much immediately set to getting Lucas changed. And I am also pulling up the sensor. Luckily, the big dog seemed to start waking up on the way over, and even more so after having a few bites of my sandwich. Okay, he's wearing pants. Hiya, Mr. Pack-be-packin'. Once his large ears finally flop through and the opening glides over his bruised nose, me and River grab onto either side of the shirt, pulling it up over his bulked shoulders. She leans forward on her toes, licking her thumb and reaching up to clean the last bit of black makeup off his face. Then she steps back, wiping her brow. Can you walk? Lucas slowly sways his head over, squinting down at her. He nods. Alright, good. I'll get changed too. Gotta keep an eye on him. Make sure he doesn't fall over or something. She stumbles as she walks around the car. Lucas leans back against the side of the vehicle, rolling his head. You okay? He hiccups, a low rumble escaping his throat. Headache. Chest hurts. He lifts his paw to the scar on his stomach. Tummy ache. I nod, grabbing his arm. Best not to touch it. River comes back around, dragging a paw through her hair to untangle it. I'll go through the front, then come unlock the back for your toe, right? I nod, looking towards the big building. She lifts her paw to point. Door's over there, say it. Yeah. Are there any cameras? Not around the back. Okay, we'll wait over there then. She nods, giving Lucas a quick glance before jogging off. Alright, let's get going. I help Lucas sit down on a large box next to a back door, taking a seat beside him with a heavy sigh. What happened? I run a paw through my hair, wishing I knew. You got in a fight. I did? Yeah. You and Mason. Against who? Well, a bad guy. A big canine. Oh. I shot him. I turned to him, watching as he racks his brain. And tackled him. He lifts his paw to his bruised eye. He tried to bite me. I think. Did we win? I sigh. Well, you saved me. I chuckle. Again. Lucas's paw drops back down onto his lap, looking down at his bruised knuckles. I should... He hiccups. Should get brass knuckles or something. Why's that? He pauses for a moment, inspecting his bandaged fist before looking at me. Well, because my knuckles hurt. He shoots me a sheepish grin. Sly Paw wears them in one of the versions. See, I would have already brought Sly Paw into the conversation. But yeah, from what I've seen, you punch hard enough as it is without them. Lord knows you don't need brass knuckles to knock someone out. He readjusts, grunting, scooting a bit closer. But we got him, right? I let a sad chuckle slip, swallowing back the lump in my throat. No, they got away. More of a stalemate, if anything. Both parties scurrying away hurt but not dead, and I can only imagine they'll be better prepared next time. Maybe I underestimated how challenging all this will be. I sigh, closing my eyes and leaning my head back against the wall. Not this time. Oh. But my eyes open back up when I feel Lucas's large paw envelop mine. I look at him, but he keeps his gaze forward, staring into the distance. We'll get them next time. I chuckle. I hope so. We will. His head lazily slumps to the side, looking at me. We'll find them, put them all behind bars. They'll face consequences for their actions and justice. He exclaims what sounds like a quote in a heroic tone, only undermined by slurred words. No one else will die, he hiccups. The good guys always win. Hiya. Okay, this is actually starting to get a little painful to watch. This is starting to get a little painful to watch. I smile, scratching my neck. In the comics, maybe. But I get the feeling none of this will end well. Perhaps I'm just being pessimistic. Wish I had some of your confidence. Would make things easier. I wouldn't have to doubt every decision, or word, or thought, or feeling. What do you mean? I sigh, unsure if now is the right time to start dumping all my emotional baggage on the big dog. I don't know, I just feel so off track. Not even sure if what I'm doing is right or wrong. Never sure of myself, you know? All that started way before waking up here. I don't know, I guess after waking up in the forest, I've just felt lost. I don't think you're lost. He swallows audibly, slumping further down the wall, and leans his soft, fuzzy head against my shoulder. I mean, I found you, didn't I? He smiles, treading his fingers through mine. It's so wholesome and... Let's go. It's so wholesome and sweet, but also so fucking hard to watch. Like, I'm so fucking worried that Lucas is just going to... This could be... Wait, I didn't read that. I quickly untangle my paw from his, clearing my throat awkwardly while River shoots me a questioning look. As I prepare to help Lucas up, he looks down at his pocket, fumbling for his phone. When he finally gets it out, he taps the power button. It's a notification from a news website. Or maybe a blog by the looks of the icon. River steps over to read it. Yeah, River does deserve that. Man found dead at sawmill. Sacrificial tattoo. Execution. I swear, I'm going to start fucking crying. Fuck. Fuck. Basketball practice, home for quick post-game snack, and then meet up with Aggie at the reading group by the church. Walking back home and Mom texted me that it was getting late. That's the last thing I remember. The last thing before waking up in that basement. What the fuck is that? Someone who knows this game, please tell me if I need to censor at all, because, like, I'm freaking the fuck out. I roll my neck, shivering, feeling the cuffs chafe around my wrists. Sitting with my arms above my head for so long, I lost feeling in them hours ago. No, I mean, like, in the future, if something comes up. I'm so cold. I don't know how much time has passed since that basement. Keeping track without a clock or natural light is impossible. Time becomes a blur, a fuzzy haze as being awake and asleep blend together. Reality and nightmare. A week? No, can't have been that long. Someone would have found me in a week. Someone will find me. In Sheps, okay. I opened my eyes to the room I've become all too familiar with, looking out over the dirt floor. This cobbled box of a place. Windowless. I'm gonna turn up my microphone sensitivity. Alright, mic sensitivity is up. The atmosphere is oppressive and heavy, as if you can feel the weight of the building above pressing down on the crumbling brick supports keeping it up. The smell of moldy hay and cattle is barely noticeable under the sharp, rubber-like fumes of paint that makes my head dizzy. I roll my tongue over the empty cavities of where my teeth used to be, feeling the nausea roll back and my stomach turning. But even if I wanted to, the puddle of now dried sick next to me is evidence I have nothing left to throw up. But teeth can be replaced. Soon as I'm out of here. Is this Riot? I've memorized this room over and over, so that when I get out, I can recall every last detail to the police. I know every corner, every spot of dried blood, every tool on the wall. I've counted every stone making up the walls of this prison. Oh, okay. Handed a piece of paper and a pen, I could sketch the pattern of each and every paint splatter. The color's so bright it almost glows in the dark. But as I look around the room for what feels like the 100th time, one detail sticks out. One that hasn't been there before. Leaning against one of the brick pillars further down the room, slumped forward, almost curled into a ball, sits a person. I blink a couple times to make the outline more clear, unsure if I trust my own eyes. A skinny figure, in worn jeans and a t-shirt too big for them. Their knees are pressed to their chest as if trying to make themselves smaller. The odd, bubbly feeling of hope in my chest overwhelms me. I pull myself up with my wrists, folding my legs beneath me to get on my knees. Hey! I call out to him with a hoarse voice, having screamed them sore sometime earlier. You've got to help me! I've been trapped down here for... I don't know how long. But the figure doesn't respond. They don't react at all. I was kidnapped. I'm not supposed to be here. I cut myself short as a small flame lights up in their paw. You're not supposed to be here? They finally answer, in a slow, sluggish, tired-sounding male voice on the lighter side. His paws are covered in the same white paint, dried spots of it littering his fingers and claws. I swallowed, wet my throat with whatever moisture is left. No, because Pillow Fucker is orange. George is orange. This fucker is green. My first guess would be Lucas, but Lucas is not that small, I don't think. I swallowed, wet my throat with whatever moisture is left. Yes! Yes! I'm not supposed to be here! I need to get out of here! Another quiet pause follows as a man slowly moves the lighter back and forth, holding something above it, and not letting the flame dance beneath it. Were you kidnapped too? Maybe we could help each other get out! You're not supposed to be here. That feeling of hope in my chest slowly begins to sink down to my stomach. He's not here to rescue me, is he? Someone else will show up. They're looking for me. Someone will come. The flame is abruptly snuffed out, replaced by the sound of the man shifting on the dirt in the dark. Oh God, please! I strain against cold metal binding me, an aching jolt shooting up through my arms as circulation starts waking them back up. The concrete is weak. If I could pull hard enough on the cuffs, the metal ring they're threaded through could come loose, and then... My train of thought is interrupted as a man stands up and begins pacing, his shadow weaving in and out between the pillars, dragging his feet and muttering to himself. Fear creeps over me as images of all the things this man might do to me flash in my head, and I shiver. But I refuse to think about that. I'm strong. I got through that rat's torture. I'll get through this. None of it will matter once I'm out of here. I take a deep breath, flexing my arms to test the metal loop. You don't have to do this, you know. I won't tell anyone. I promise. My name's Casey. What's yours? My mother's probably worried sick about me. She probably thinks I got lost. That's what I'll tell her. I'll tell her I got lost. I won't mention any of this. I'll tell her I got lost in the forest. That I was drinking with friends. She'll believe me. She misses me, and I don't think you're that type of man. To take a daughter from her mother. The man's footsteps seem to slow to a stop. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't! Please, sir. I just want to go home. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to... Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! He stomps over, kicking at the dirt and screaming, his voice suddenly sounding wide awake and an octave deeper. Huffing, he paces back and forth above me. No, please! You're not supposed to be here! I'm not supposed to be here! He screams so loud my ears almost ring, and I close my eyes out of instinct, my body tensing up. I don't want this! I never did! I never wanted this! Slowly, I open my eyes back up, meeting his as he crouches down in front of me. He's a dog of some kind. His floppy ears and darker fur reminds me of my classmate Colin. But the burn scars making his left side droop slightly do not. His mismatched eyes stare down at me in pure rage, his scarred muzzle slightly agape as he breathes heavily. Then suddenly, the anger on the canine's face melts away, and his features scrunch up as if on the verge of tears, as if a different man entirely was sitting before me. He lifts his shivering paw, reaching out towards me as his lips curl into a sad smile that doesn't quite reach his eyes. Then, just as quickly, he pulls his arm away, a blank stare replacing the uncanny smile. You have been chosen! He emphasizes each word carefully, especially on the last one as he holds his other paw out, unfurling his fingers. He is holding a syringe. I immediately recoil, pressing my naked back against the cold wall. No! His blank stare looks down at me, through me, not quite meeting my eyes. He stays like that for a moment as if contemplating something, before quickly standing up, grabbing my arm. No! 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 Please! The canine calmly shushes me, thumbing the pit of my elbow and readying the needle. I trash my arms around as much as the restraints will allow, helpless whines escaping my toothless muzzle. You don't have to do this! He keeps trying to inject me, but my thrashing seems to put him off. The man lets out a frustrated grunt as he lets go of me, and, with a hurried pace, steps away. I breathe heavily, my chest rapidly rising and falling. He turns away, clutching his hair tight, and then begins to sob. Please, please, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this anymore. Make it stop, just make it stop! I sit back up as best I can, not sure if I should be more scared of his strange behavior or just thankful he didn't inject me with whatever's in that syringe. It's okay. It's okay. I mumble, steadying my voice and glancing up at the metal loop. I can do this. We can make it stop. If you just let me go. I'm unsure if he can hear me through his sobbing until his ear turns towards me. I swallow. If you let me go, I promise I won't tell anybody, and this can all be over. He turns and bends down to pick something up off the floor. The clinking of a metal tin against the gravel floor is the last thing I hear before something ice cold washes over me. It's thick and sticky, clinging to my fur like glue, and the harsh smell that invades my nose makes me cough. Hiya. I turn my head and spit to get whatever landed in my mouth out. As I open my eyes and look down over my exposed body, my breath catches in my throat. He reaches his paw into the emptied can, smearing some of the paint across his scarred muzzle, like war paint. In the same motion as he drops the can, he steps over and I feel a sting in my right arm, hearing his heavy breathing at my side. I don't have time to react, I just stare up at him and the needle embedded in my arm. What the fuck? He steps back as if shocked at his own doing, and begins to pace, lifting his paw to run through his hair. I want out of this, I don't want to do this anymore! He mumbles as he cradles his head. Oh God, what has he done? What was in the syringe? What's happening to me? God, please just give me the strength to get through this. I take a few heavy breaths to calm myself. Someone will come. I know they will. I just have to hold out. Someone's coming for me. The canine leans up against the pillar to my left, pressing his forehead to the stained stone. They're looking for me. They're gonna find me. They won't find you. His voice states plainly in an exhausted tone. No one's coming for you. Yes, they are! I rattle the cuffs. They wouldn't just leave me. They're looking for me right now. They wouldn't leave me. How would you know? He didn't come for any of the others. They'll come for me. They're taking me home. The man suddenly slams his fist against the wall, dragging his forehead down against the concrete. No, 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 I don't want to anymore! I don't want it! I don't want to! His voice chokes up as if to cry again, before suddenly letting out a frustrated roar. He spins around, aggressively digging his paw down in his pocket. I pull my knees up to my chest as he steps over. What are you doing? He grabs hold of the cuffs above me. And a second later, my arms fall flat at my sides. I stare at them for a second, feeling lightheaded from the shock, before quickly getting on my paws and knees, clawing at the dirt floor to launch myself between his legs and towards the exit. This is it! This is my chance! I can get out! My entire body tingles with adrenaline, my arms feeling sluggish, and my vision begins to blur as flakes of dried paint fly up in the air. And then I collapse. No. No, the stairs are right there! I can make it! Please, God, just let me make it! But my body refuses to move, and all I can do is stare at the ascending steps just out of reach. It's right there! I feel something push against my side, realizing it's the canine's shoes as I'm rolled over on my back. But the feeling is muted, almost hollow. The room begins to spin, and I feel like I'm sinking into gravel. He straddles my stomach, and breathing becomes difficult, as if a large stone has been placed on my chest. Please, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Please. Please, God. God? No! No, I have met your God, and he is a cruel man! He lifts what looks like a thin metal rod above me, resting the hollow end on my forehead. Please. Someone has to come for me. Pray! What? I managed to squeal out between shallow sobs, the canine's tone flat and emotionless again. Pray! I close my eyes, feeling my chest heave as I fight against my own body to get the words out. Our Father, who art in heaven... You hear that? I look up at the man baring his teeth. Come and get her! He darts his head around, his eyes rapidly moving through the room. My head just falls back down, my eyes on the stairs just out of reach. Please! But in front of it, through my blurred vision, I think I see another silhouette. Someone came for me! More to come. Oh, is that the end? Yeah, I'm gonna save right there. What the fuck? Damn! Should we just do all three tonight? Serious question. Should we just do all three tonight? Or should we save one for tomorrow? Alrighty. Possum Boy or... You know, I'm going to make this simple. Punk Possum Boy or Daddy Apologies. Daddy, sorry. Daddy, sorry. Daddy, sorry. I'm fucking wrong. Alright. Looks like it's Shepard. I sigh, shaking my head. I'm staying. Shepard looks down over me with an expression somewhere between confusion and doubt, and I immediately feel my gaze drifting down. You're free to go. I know. I nod, letting my claws fiddle. I'm staying. Out of the corner of my eye, I see River shake her head disapprovingly as she swings the car door shut and starts the engine. After considerable pause, Shepard nods, lifting his gaze toward the two parties rolling down the dirt road. We stay like that, watching the car's rear lights slowly fade between the trees and bushes, the early morning breeze ruffling our fur. Woohoo, Dilfs! Ah! Shepard's the first to move, as he turns and heads back inside with determined steps. I blink, watching him disappear through the door before following. Turning the corner, I see the large canine unfold the large map from the night before onto the table, the brown paper bag placed on a chair. He lifts his fist to his muzzle, suppressing a cough. Without lifting his gaze, he points to the bag. I step over, opening it up, and pull out a greasy, oversized sandwich. A man after my own heart. Eat. You need it. I swallow to wet my throat, sitting down and placing the somewhat soaked bag to the side. Thank you. How you like ribs? I glance between the two slices of bread at the oversauced chunks of meat, gluing them together. That is... I get what it means. I get what it means, but phrasing. I'll just go ahead and send myself to horny jail. I'm just gonna send myself. I'm just gonna send myself. I get what he means, but phrasing, my guy. Phrasing. It's from... He trails off with a soft grunt, the side of his muzzle scrunching up slightly, followed by a sigh. Despite his stoic nature, the regret on his face is clear. I nod. It smells good and I'm starving. But even so, I have to force my mouth open to take a bite. Shepard taps a claw against the weathered plastic of the map, tracing a line across it. Wow. I swallowed down my first bite, deciding to break the silence. Why not use GPS? The tall beast shoots me a quick glance, as if surprised I'm still here before turning to the map. Because GPS doesn't mark what we're looking for. I scoot my chair a bit closer, leaning forward to get a better look at where his claws pointed. Black Mill is written in thick black letters underneath two rectangles connected by a line on a river. Force a second bite down, this one even harder than the first as a pit in my stomach grows. I scan the surface for other marked locations, one in particular. But nowhere on the cloudy plastic does it mention a factory. You ran far. He traces his claw across the map's squared layout. Not far enough. 6 kilometers on top of the hike back here. I lean back and take a deep breath through my nose behind the sandwich, the mustardy aroma burning my nostrils. Shepard lets out a short exhale of a laugh, lifting a paw to scratch the tuft of fur on his chin. You've got stamina, I'll give you that. He shoots me another glance, forcing a taut smile as if hoping I'll do the same. I can't help but let a chuckle slip. Not so much at the compliment, more at his awful attempt to lighten the mood. I lost the gun, the one River... I know. I look up, that forced smile gone just as quickly as it appeared. You know, I sigh. I can't figure you out. Shepard pushes himself off the table and steps over to the couch, grabbing his duffel bag from earlier. What's that supposed to mean? I let a smirk slip as I shake my head, picking at a piece of rib with my claws. Your tough demeanor, gruff, raspy voice, taut stature. But then that comforting hug, the admission earlier. But then what you did at the bar. You're complicated. He folds the map up, replacing it with the empty duffel bag reaching inside. Empty except for... I feel my whole body recoil at the sight of the purple paint, my stomach turning almost immediately. Shepard holds it in his paw, watching me. But not like usual, not with that piercing, analyzing stare. He looks at me with those worried, somber eyes I saw earlier. Carefully, he places it down on the table, zipping the duffel bag up and letting his eyes fall from mine. I could say the same of you, raccoon. My eyes trail to the mask, the X'd holes staring back at me. On second thought, the complicated part isn't too hard to figure. Losing someone close fucks you up, makes you do things you regret. Especially if you still hold on to hope that they'll come back, that things will return to how they were. They never do. Things will never be the same. I lift a paw to readjust my sleeve, sighing. If we're to find him, stop them. Stop this. He sighs. Then I need to know what happened. Buddy, you don't want to know. You don't want to fucking know. Trust me. Trust me, Shepard. You're a DILF. And it doesn't take much to get information. I'm just going to say this right now. It doesn't take much to get information out of me. You already gave me food. You can know anything you want. However, this is something that you don't want to know. This is something that you don't want to fucking know. With the heavy exhale, I close my eyes. What am I even supposed to tell you? I don't even know what happened. How do I talk about it without sounding insane? I don't remember much, but I sneak a glance at the striped beast to see his reaction, but he simply watches me as if frozen in time. I clear my throat, readjusting on the foldable chair, psyching myself up. I heard voices. Saying it out loud somehow makes it feel more real. And not in a good way. Having said it out loud, I'm terrified to take my eyes off the small piece of concrete floor my eyes are fixed on. As if meeting his gaze will somehow unfreeze time. Why is the dog screaming? Why are you screaming? Why are you screaming? Can you not? Thank you. I probably just hit my head or something and had some strange What did they say? I don't know. They were discussing spoils of war. Who got to keep what and who got to keep me. No, not me. It was like I was seeing everything through someone else's eyes. Despite my instincts, I lift my gaze to the hyena. But his expression hasn't changed. No, they weren't memories. I sigh. Shepard does too, probably having had the same thought. I know they weren't memories. Can't have been. I'm human, not a talking animal. Was. Did you see where you were? I let my eyes fall again, thinking back as best I can without elevating the anxiety already present. Not too far from George's house. Shepard glances at the folded-up map. He was there. George. Said I was going with him. I fiddle my claws, running the smooth paw pads of my fingers over the nail-like hooks. Another reason to chalk it all up to trauma. There were others, 4 of them. But I don't remember much more. Shepard lets his head fall, stroking the back of his neck. The others? The Red Prince. It's what the hyena in the mill at the mill called himself, but he was there too. Does that mean anything to you? He doesn't answer, instead slowly closing his eyes. No. Sounds pretentious. Shepard abruptly grunts, tossing the backpack over his shoulder and bending down to tie his boot. As he stands back up, I notice him holding a short gray piece of plastic in his left paw, looking like a small remote. Realize immediately what it is as a blade shoots out the end of it. My heart picks up speed, but only for a second as he quickly turns and steps over to the blank brick wall behind. He looks down at the knife in his paw, contemplating as he twirls it between his digits. Needs sharpening anyway. One swift motion, he plunges the end into the yellowed brick and begins carving. I stand up, placing what remains of the sandwich on the table, and walk over. It's a start. Shepard retracts the blade, reaching down to slide it back into his boot with a low grunt. Okay. He adjusts the strap on his shoulder, stepping towards the door. We're leaving? I am. Where are you going? Getting that gun back. Well, what am I supposed to do? Eat. Sleep. Rest up. I glance back at the table. You're going without a mask? He stops in the doorway, glancing back over his shoulder. I don't have one. With that, he walks out the door, crossing the road, and disappears into the woods. I sigh. It's close to nothing, just names carved in stone. So much more to this that we don't know. Has to be. But it is a start, I guess. I glance at the plastic bag of fresh clothes, suddenly noticing just how damp my current ones still are. Guess I better get changed. Once dressed, I flop down on the couch, closing my eyes. I'm fucking exhausted. I should at the very least try to sleep. I can say the fuck word if I want to, but the state of the couch, the temperature of this warehouse, soon makes me reconsider. I sit up, grunting, and glance at the half-finished sandwich still on the table. I'll finish the rest later. Tell myself as I stand up, knowing full well I won't. Something else on the table catches my eye anyway. Still makes no sense to me. Shepard mentioned something about coordinates and Caesar? I pick it up, letting my eyes run across the page. What the fuck could the key be? Ha 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 ha. A puzzle. Uh, hmm. What was it? I don't fucking know. I'm dumb. I have 2 brain cells and they're both fighting for 7th place. Okay, so I'm just gonna... This is impossible. Oh, let's try that. Ah! That was it! That was it! Thank you, Drax! Thank you! Wait, I solved it!
Guess you're not as dumb as you act after all.
Thank you, Riot! I'm just gonna save right there.
Guess you're not as dumb as you act after all.
Ooh! Should we go back? Should we go back? Oh, we get different dialogue from Riot. Yeah, let's go back. This is impossible. And it's difficult enough focusing on the letters while that mask keeps staring at me. I'll just put it away. Put it back in the drawer Mason pulled it from. Easy. Then I won't have to think about it anymore. Yet, I hesitate even touching it. Just the thought of what happened last time makes my stomach turn. After another few seconds of procrastinating, I lift my paw towards it, gripping the thin plastic. Ooh! Fuck! I jerk my paw back as if I'd put it on a hot stove. What the fuck is happening? I reach my paw out towards it again, fighting my instincts pulling it back. My fingers touch the plastic. Nothing happens. I exhale, carefully gripping the thin frame. I pick it up, holding it out. The two large X's peer back at me as if staring right through me. Almost as if someone was looking back through them. What the fuck is wrong with this thing? Thing's doing an oh whoa. It's doing an oh whoa. Yeah. Oh! Hi! Hi! How are you? How are you? This is some Avatar The Last Airbender bullshit, and I am all for it. My eyes shoot open as the mask falls from my paws.
You really ought to be more careful with it. It might save your life.
You're... That timing could not have been better. That timing could not have been better, Yuan. Yeah, appropriate reaction, but the timing could not have been better. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Hey. Striped tail. Hey. I open my eyes, blinking. Mason stands above me, upon my shoulder. I push myself up from the couch, darting my head around the room as it spins. Just as quickly, my paws shoots up to the ache in the back of my neck, just where my skull meets it. Hey, easy now. I shut my eyes, sucking in air through gritted teeth. Mason helps me steady myself with one paw, lifting his other one to my nose. Looks like you were having a pretty bad dream. His thumb pulls away with the red streak across it. Where's the big guy? The possum takes a seat next to me on the sofa, splaying his slithering tail out over the cushions as he looks around the hall. It takes me a second to register his question before I scan the room once more. He, left. I swallow, trying to get my bearings as I search for the mask. Left? But it's not on the table. I nod. To get the gun I lost back at the mill. I turn back to Mason, only to notice the purple visor hanging by the leather straps in his paw. He quirks his eyebrow at me. You good, bro? You look even worse than when I left. I nod, shuffling back on the couch, away from the mask. I'm fine. Just bad dream. Mason stays looking like a question mark, making it clear he's not buying it. What are you doing back? I thought you were going to go pick up, I blink, searching my brain in an attempt to change the subject. Something. I look over a slim frame. Whatever it was he was going to get, he doesn't have it with him. The possum smirks, shrugging, and pushes himself off the couch. Nah, I'll do it tomorrow. Don't exactly feel like working more tonight. Doubt he's awake anyway. He shuffles forward to the desk, one leg dragging more than the other. He pats his pocket. Came back to check up on you. Doc's orders. Placing the mask back, we're gonna stop for a minute while the ad plays. Hydration. Hydration. Placing the mask back down on the table, he hops up next to it, letting his legs dangle off the side. River told him to check up on me. Looks like you two have been busy, though. He lifts a clawless digit, pointing at the brick wall. A real hit list. I love it. The smirk is almost audible as he says it, followed by a low chuckle. I lift my paw to my nose, feeling the warm red liquid still ooze from it. My ear twitches towards the door as footsteps become audible. Soon after, Shepard steps through the entrance, his fur plastered down looking drenched. Guessing Doc sent you? Mason nods, leaning back on his paws. Sup? Shepard shakes his head with a sigh. His eyes move from the possum to me, then to the wall. My paws fly up to cut my nose, my body freezing on the spot. He stops next to me, staring at the blood graffiti. Despite the irony smell, my nose fills with the overwhelming scent of forest and wet fur. I swallow, speaking up in a whisper. I swear, it wasn't... Found what you went looking for? The possum speaks up behind us, forcing the striped beast's eyes away from the carved brick with a low grunt. They momentarily stop on me, making me cower under his questioning gaze. He raises his paw, slowly moving mine aside, and runs his wet thumb across my nose. He unzips the bag and pulls out a pistol, muddied and still dripping. Gonna need cleaning. Stepping over to the possum, he goes to put the gun down only to stop suddenly, eyes fixed on the table. He shakes his free paw, causing the water droplets to spray everywhere before picking up the piece of paper. He scans it. Mason looks down on it over his shoulder. What? What's up? How? What? He turns on the paper, holding up the weathered note, and gives me a stern look. Oh! How did you solve it? How did you solve it? Ha 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 ha. Somber kings seldom sing. Seriously, I seriously love this chapter art. For his neutral special, he wields a gun. Ah! Damn. Let me know when I'll need a censor, please, because I will stress the fuck out. I know your profile said discreet, but I didn't think you'd rent a place just for this. This is either a motel or a sex dungeon. I stroll through the short entrance into the cramped apartment. The place is damn near empty. I just moved in a couple days ago. Haven't really had time to unpack. I run a paw through my hair, tilting my head to glance over my shoulder at the meager fox. Don't see any boxes. Head down, he lifts a semi-transparent bag up onto the shaky dining table, unpacking the contents with an awkward forced laugh. I roll my neck, step behind him, and place my paws on my hips. Pressing my front onto his back, I lean my muzzle in close, planting a small kiss between the thick fur on his neck. He pulls away, exhaling as he lifts the cheap bottle of wine from the bag. Excuse me? I step back, rolling my eyes and crossing my arms. Not a great start. Got any glasses? I scan the place, eyes landing on the tiny nook of a kitchen shoved in the corner of the place. Dude doesn't even have a microwave. He spins around, lifting a paw in the opposite direction. Bottom drawer. He forces a sheepish smile, but seems unable to meet my eyes. I chuckle, walking over to the old dark wood dresser. Might be fucking vintage by the looks of it. This man clearly doesn't have an electric kettle. No electric kettle energy. Bending down to make sure to put some sway into my hips. If my tail was any larger than a nub, I'd be lifting it for sure. The drawer contains exactly 2 glasses, cheap mass-produced generic wine glasses you get at a furniture store, along with those cheap-ass scented candles. But my interest peaks at what else the drawer contains. Wine glasses in one paw, I hook the bundle of rope with a claw. Kinky type, huh? I grin, striking a pose, letting the rope dangle from my digit. The fox looks over, staring blankly at me for a second before he chuckles, lifting a paw to scratch his neck. Yeah. Nervous too, apparently. But a bit of rope is always promising. I chuckle, drop the rope on the bed, and hand the glasses to the awkward canine. Should add that to your profile, you know. Stuff like that helps. I don't need dating advice. The fox cuts me off, his tone cold and standoffish. Okay, dude, chill. Don't have to be such a dick about it. Whatever. He unscrews the metal cap on the bottle and pours up a generous glug in each glass before handing one back to me. I grab his forearm, teasingly running my trimmed claws against his skin as I lead him to the sofa. I sit down, lifting my legs and folding them to sit cross-legged, facing the fox. Tyler takes his seat next to me, facing forward, legs straight down to the floor. I place a paw on his thigh, gently stroking his jeans. Chillax, dude, you're acting like it's your first time. He takes a deep breath, slowly sinking back down against the soft pillows, making the springs squeak. is my first time with a guy, I mean. Oh, for fuck's sake. What kind of bullshit have I gotten myself into this time? I sigh, closing my eyes with a nod. Let's go slow then, yeah? And purity, boys. Let's go slow then, yeah? I let my paw slide further up his thigh, towards his crotch. Might still be able to get some decent dick out of this. Oh, wow. As soon as my paw approaches his package, he pulls back, seeming to snap back to reality. Was he daydreaming? I pull my paw back with a sigh, looking away. Maybe I should go. You don't seem all that interested in this. No, wait! He puts his paw on my forearm as I untangle my legs and stand up. He sighs uncomfortably, biting his lip, and stands up next to me. I'm sorry, okay? I'm just nervous. No shit, I answer in a sarcastic tone. I think you're really pretty. I just get nervous when I'm around new people. I don't think hookups are your thing, homie. He raises his glass with his arm tense, like he's never held a wine glass before or something. Well, let's just have some wine and see where it goes. You mentioned wine when we wrote, right? I don't know anything about wine, but... Please? He pleads, the expression across his face matching. I roll my eyes. Not like I'm going to find another hookup this late anyway. Sure. I raise my glass to his, clinking the cheap cups together. Anything's better than that concoction they brew locally. What should we drink to? He asks sheepishly, eyes still drawn to the floor. Yeah, I think we're good without the cute squad, the purity boys. I raise my paw to his chin, lifting his muzzle to look him in the eyes. To free love, baby! He lets out an uneven breath as if he had been holding it for a while. Free love. I put the glass to my lips and throw my head back, letting the tart alcoholic grape juice run down my throat. Even cheap shit'll get you drunk. He does the same, a lot slower to empty his. Guess his awkwardness is kinda cute, at least when he's not acting repulsed by my touch. The fox chokes on the last few swallows, coughing into the glass and shooting a splash of wine out over his coned snout. I can't help but giggle a little as an experience. I'll get you something to wipe your fur. I let my eyes wander the place, looking for some paper towels or cloth of some kind before remembering this place is bare as fucking bone. I spot the door next to the bathroom instead. Be right back. Tyler keeps coughing into his arm as I put my glass down on the small couch table and turn the corner into the bathroom. As empty as the rest of the place. No soap, no shampoo. At least dude's got toilet paper. I reach down, unrolling a couple squares and rip them off. Here, got you some... The fox snaps away from the dining table, both glasses in his paws. Refilled. This is suspicious. I smile, placing a paw on my hip and hold the paper out. He puts one glass back down, taking the paper and pressing his muzzle into it. I step over to pick the free glass up, but the fox stops me, holding out his glass instead. This one's yours. I quirk an eyebrow at him as he watches me. As if it matters which glass I drink out of when the whole point of this is to roll around in each other's fluids. Ugh. I roll my eyes, taking the correct glass out of his paw. I take a sip, stepping closer, letting my hips roll as I do. Feel more comfortable, handsome? He nods, at first taking a step back as I get up close. I grab his paw, guiding it to my hip as I slowly sway them from side to side in a dance-like motion. He gulps, stiffly holding onto my side. Good. I place my free paw on his chest, motioning him back. He follows obediently, his calves connecting with the bed frame. With a light push on his shoulder, he sits down. I lift the glass out of the way, nimbly undoing the buckle and top button on my pants. Ooh! With a nervous expression, he watches me unzip and pull my semi from behind the jock strap. Okay, I'm not going to read most of this. I slide my paw from his shoulder to the back of his neck, digging my fingers through the fur and guide him in. Okay then. Wow. And the music started. I breathlessly moan as I feel a cold, sharp blade pierce my chest, cutting into one of my ribs. I try to scream, but I can't breathe. Oh shit! Yeah! Yeah! Red light. Ah. Okay. Wow. So we're fucking dead. 57 Park Road, apartment 202, Black Mill. Just like the cipher said. Yeah, most of that, actually all of that, actually. The first thing that hits is the smell. Am I good to bring the screen back? Am I good to bring this screen back? Okay. Let's bring it back. I'm just gonna pull up the sensor. It's sterile, alcoholic, overwhelming, so Burns the nostrils to the point of stinging and makes it difficult to smell anything but that. But it doesn't entirely cover up the irony, spoiled meat-like smell hiding beneath. No, Pack is saying that there's going to be a quick flash in the nuts. Take a couple steps into the cramped place, finding the light switch. Okay. The place is clean. Too clean. Looks as if whoever occupied the place never even set foot in it. Everything from the faux leather couch to the metal frame chairs stand perfectly symmetrical to the layout of the cramped space. The bed is neat but lacking any covers, not a single speck of dust on the drawer next to it. I walk up to the window, pulling the blinds shut with my gloved paws. I let my backpack slip down my shoulders as I unzip it and reach inside. Pulling out the small 4-inch spray bottle taped over with a large L written in shape, I throw my bag back over my shoulder. Thanks, Ink. Yeah, it is, Cody. I mumble as I cover the nose holes with one paw and begin spraying the place down with luminol. Once sufficiently covered, I turn the lights back on. Oh, okay. And immediately the place lights up like a rave party. Large splatters cover the wall above the bed, seeming to have originated from the center of the mattress. Yeah, I'm pulling it back up. Originating from the center of the mattress. This is where it happened. I follow the luminescent streaks down the mattress onto the floor. A long trail of it leads towards the bathroom. What the fuck? Just what the fuck? Alrighty, on to Ink. You know, just a black light. We're just gonna do them all tonight. No, I'm going with Mason. We were gonna get supplies, since we used up those canisters. The possum pushes off the frame, walking over to his car with a slight limp. I just hope his leg is okay. Shepard nods, his eyes on the ground. Good. He steps past me, placing one of the plastic bags in the backseat behind Lucas. He hands me the brown paper bag, now darkened in some spots. I got you this. Figured you might need it. I hold the bag up. What is it? Hey, Striped Tail, you coming? I look over as Mason climbs into his seat. Keep an eye on him. I nod, although I'm not entirely sure what he means by that. I step over to Mason's little city car, climbing into the passenger seat. I'll see ya. He pauses for a moment, finally lifting his gaze to meet mine. He gives a curt nod, letting his eyes fall back on the gravel path. I close the door as Mason fires up the engine. You sure you're alright to drive? Course, Striped Tail. I've barely had anything to drink tonight. I reluctantly nod. Yay, we're gonna fucking die. We roll down the gravel road, river close behind. Shepard clasps his paws behind his back, watching us leave, as he slowly fades out of view of the rearview mirror. And despite the argument inside, I can't help but to think how lonely he looks. Fucking finally! Seems everyone's in a bad mood tonight, huh? I almost said bad nude. Bad mood. I sigh, turning back to the brown bag in my lap, opening it up, and pull out a greasy, oversized sandwich. The oversized sandwich is always. Mason's fist slams against the wooden door for the 4th time. Why don't you just call him? I slump down on the stone steps, rubbing my neck. I texted him like 30 minutes ago. But you didn't call. Who the fuck calls? That's some boomer shit, bro. He lifts his paw to knock again, but just as he's about to, the lock clicks. Then another. And another. After 3 clicks, the door swings open, and a large salt and pepper colored character peeks around it. Mason! He opens the door fully, throwing his arms out with a big grin on his face. What are you doing here? I closed down a few hours ago. I thought you wouldn't show. I push myself off the steps, straightening my hoodie. Maddie's eyes drift to me with a confused look, almost somber before that smile returns. But this time it's easy to tell it's forced. The embarrassment washes over me like ice. His eyes quickly drop back down. I tilt my head, averting my gaze as well. I don't know what Shepard told him, but even so, the shame of how our last encounter ended makes the pit in my stomach grow. Sup, Maddie? The skunk's focus returns to the possum ahead of me. Well, come in, come in. I forgot his voice, but now I remember. Well, come in, come in. Mason strolls on through as a large skunk steps back. I hop down the steps to follow. Doing okay there, little guy? Maddie whispers as I step through the door. I tilt my head back to meet his concerned expression. Yeah, I'm fine. The skunk watches me, his lips tightening as if wanting to say something, but eventually settles on a tight smile and a curt nod, turning to lock the door back up. The place seems to have seen some life since I was here earlier. Empty glasses, beer bottles, and plastic bar trays are scattered around the tables. It's a stark reminder that the world keeps turning no matter what you go through. While we were all out at the mill, the people here had a normal Saturday night. Drinking, eating, having a good time, all while that wolf was killed in cold blood. So what can I do for you, huh? Don't want anything to eat? Got some leftover wings in the back. Maddie limps past us to the nearest table, gathering up the empty pint glasses and leftover food. I pull out a seat by one of the tables, taking care to thread my tail through the opening in the back. Mason shoots me a quick glance, fishing for an answer. I shake my head. Nah, we're good. He walks over to the bar, practically laying down on it to reach over the counter. Steps back with a half-empty bottle of what looks like whiskey. The skunk stops at the next table, smirking over at the possum. Thought you said you didn't want nothing. Mason snatches 2 glasses, casually lifting his paw at him as he slowly makes his way over. Said we didn't want nothing to eat. Never said anything about drink. Maddie chuckles, putting the stack of baskets back down and leaning up against a chair. And how I'll be paying for that this time. Possum snickers as he stops just in front of the big skunk. You know, the usual. He flashes his fangs, leaning up to whisper something with a big grin. Maddie lets out a hearty laugh, leaning his head back. No, that leg you're not. Mason rolls his eyes, snorting. You know I can't keep agreeing to these sorts of deals, Mason. It's bad for business. And now while you've got company. He adds in a lower voice, shooting his eyes towards me. Mason glances over at me too, then back at Maddie, shrugging. I don't mind. Oh, I know you don't. He replies with a low chuckle, patting the possum on the shoulder. But he might. Before shuffling his way to the kitchen. Mason rolls his eyes with a grunt, calling out towards the swinging kitchen door. Call Shep about it then. I'm sure he'll be more than happy to work something out. He strolls over and pulls a chair out next to me. Putting the bottle down, he pulls out a chair next to me, sitting down backwards on the chair, leaning his chest against the backrest. So he's the supplier? Mason looks up with a confused expression. What, Maddie? No. He chuckles. Although I'm pretty sure he technically owns some of the guns we use. Helps keep our names off registration and shit. Oh, but I thought... I trail off. I thought we were here to pick up more supplies. Don't worry about the nades. I'll go pick them up tomorrow. I nod. Though not without the realization that it already is tomorrow. By a pretty big margin. Mason shuffles his right leg forward with a grunt. You alright? You've been limping since you got back to home base. He shrugs dismissively. It's fine, nothing too bad. How bad? He pauses, meeting my eyes for a moment before letting out a small chuckle. Not bad enough to kill me, if that's what you're worried about. I give him a concerned glare, crossing my arms and feeling like I'm taking River's role. Seriously! Doesn't hurt one bit. He lifts his legs stiffly to show just how much it doesn't hurt, clearly holding back a pained whine. Because you've been drinking. He waves his paw dismissively, rolling his eyes. Nubby's got enough stitching to do for one night. Right. Lucas. God, I hope he'll be alright. He'll be fine, dude. He's got River with him. Quick in and out of the hospital. He'll be good as new. Best healthcare in the state, right? Mason snorts, unscrewing the cap on the bottle. Something like that. I smile back at him. Thanks for bringing him back. And coming for me. He pulls the glasses together, pouring up a healthy shot in each. No one gets left behind, or whatever. Sounds like something Shepard would say. Plus, Lou still owes me a drink for the other night. He scoots one glass over to me, swiping the other one up himself. So, I slowly push the glass back over to Mason's side, already having declined one drink tonight. Mason folds his arms on the backrest, resting his chin on them. What was it like? I look at the amber liquid rolling back and forth in the glass, the harsh, stinging scent not noticeable even from here. What was what like? The possum tilts his head as if the answer's obvious. You know, your first shootout. I feel the pit in my stomach grow, my eyes darting downward with a sigh. Oh, come on, don't give me that. He protests with a big grin and an upbeat tone, scooting a bit closer. You can't honestly tell me you feel bad for those dudes. What was it? Weasel? Whatever. That dick's either dead or eaten through a straw for the next few months. Fucker deserves nothing less. You're right. I don't feel bad. Or at least I shouldn't. I guess I'm just confused about it all. I take another second or so to structure my thoughts, instinctively stroking my paw along the recent scars on my forearm. It was scary. Thrilling. Adrenaline pumping as fuck, right? He grins, reaching over to snag a stale fry from the basket still on the table. I nod. Yeah, I guess. I don't know if I've ever been that scared. I can't imagine how you get used to it. How do you do it? He shrugs his shoulders. It's easy. With such confidence, I mean. Mason takes a swig of his drink. Like I said, it's easy. Don't you ever get scared? I mean, we could have died back there. So? He puts his glass down, sitting up straight and holding his paws out. Look, here's how I see it. He looks me in the eyes, his fingers slowly curling back. All but one on each paw. Fuck them. They're the most vile, appalling people on this fucking planet. He leans back, picking his glass back up. They don't deserve shit but death and an unmarked grave. I glance down at the filled glass still on the table. What about prison? Mason lets out a tired look, looking off to the side. Looking to the side. What? So they can pay their way back out with nothing but a slap on the fucking wrist? They can't be that corrupt. They kill people. I mean, there's a system, right? If the system worked, we wouldn't be here. He leans forward, grabbing my left paw by the wrist and lifting it. If the system worked, we'd still have claws. I roll my thumb over my two clawless digits. But we don't, do we? What about justice? Oh, fuck justice! He slams his paw on the table. I want revenge! His eyes fall on my paw. And judging by the state of the rat, I bet you do too. I already got mine. Oh no! George is dead. But a part of me knows he's right. I want to fuck over every single person behind this. The ones who paid George, hired Mason's captors, killed Hanson, the Red Prince, and whoever else is behind all this. All of them must die. Mason sighs, again resting his head on crossed arms. You work in a bar, right? I blink a few times, snapping back to reality. What? Yeah. I nod, sitting up on the chair and clearing my throat. A smug smile slowly grows across his muzzle as his eyes dart to the bar, towards the bar across the room. Show me. And that is everything in a Masquerade in the Woods. Not gonna lie, I fucking love this game. Easily in my, I think, top 10. Yeah, easily in my top 10. Because, like, even though I'm a huge fucking wuss, I love horror. And now, if you've been here before, then you already know what time it is. Turn on the display capture. And flashbang. Sorry about the flashbang. Yeah, sorry about the flashbang. Yeah, neither can I. To videos. Not videos. Community. Community tab. Alrighty. Jesus Christ, only 13 days ago we started playing this game. Alrighty, right off the bat we got School Love. Alrighty, Mr. Pack Be Packin', do you have any suggestions? Demons Within. Okay. Oh, don't stress out too much if you don't have one. Don't stress out too much. I don't think I have. I don't think I've even heard of, like, half these. Polar Night VN. Okay. So, Polar Night. Northern Lights. And my own choice that'll go on here, because similar to Echo, I just kind of want an excuse to read it. Actually, I'm trying to decide. Trying to decide between the two. I don't really want to censor too much. Assuming it even wins. I'm just going to put Arches in there. Because I just want an excuse to read it. And that is the poll. So go ahead and go vote. And extracurricular activities, that is 2 NSFW. Okay. Extracurricular activities is 2 NSFW. Too long. But it holds a special place in my heart. And number 3, for whatever reason, the main character's mom looks like my fucking aunt. Anyways, stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.